Yo, why you cutting funding to the HBCUs? Black folks came out in force to vote for you in the largest numbers, and instead of giving us tangibles, you taking things away from us. Well, I can take everything away from you, colored folks, because you colored folks are gonna come and vote for the leftists no matter what we do, whatever happens. So I can just go out here and take anything away from you because I know I'm gonna get that vote anytime I want to get it. Because you colored people are extremely stupid, and you just keep voting straight down a ticket without ever having any sort of agenda. So that's why all you're gonna get is stuff taken away from you, and I'm gonna give it to the Afghans. Those Afghans, they need our help. They need our help. Get out of here. Black voters continue to get the short end of the stick from the Biden administration. Now, in a recent Newsweek article, it states that HBCU funding will fall from $45 billion to $2 billion under the latest proposed Biden administration spending plan. Now, this is a major reversal of fortune for the historically black colleges and universities, which got full funding under the Trump administration. Now, the Biden administration made a promise to invest big in black colleges. Unfortunately, it looks like your Biden is now going to renege on that promise. And that is a major slap in the face to all of those black voters who came out in force in the 2020 election. Now, all of those black voters took their booties to the polls and went to vote for Joe Biden because they were told that the evil orange man Donald Trump was so bad. Unfortunately, it seems like Joker Joe Biden is even worse for the black community because instead of him giving tangibles to the group that came out in the largest numbers to go out and vote for him, he is giving the black community that practically gave him cities, towns, counties, and even states a big middle finger and expressing contempt for the black voting bloc. Now, the black voting bloc came out in force to protect your Joe Biden and be able to defeat the evil orange man, but instead of going out here and giving tangibles to black people, your Biden administration continues to express nothing but contempt for foundational black Americans, because to cut your funding to historically black colleges and universities from $45 billion to $2 billion, that is a complete expression of contempt, and an expression of contempt towards a voting bloc that clearly the Biden administration takes for granted. Because it looks like to me that your Joe Biden does not take the black vote seriously, and he believes that he can practically abuse and mistreat black voters, because after in December he said he was going to do nothing for black voters, we have not seen any sort of action taken by your so-called Biden supporters or many of your black civil rights leaders or your congressional black caucus to go out here and start taking action towards punishing the Biden administration for treating them with such contempt. Now, I doubt your Biden would go out here and express this kind of contempt for the Hispanic community, the Asian community, or even your Middle Eastern community. And the reason why he would do that is because they would retaliate at the voting at the polls, and they would come out in force to vote for any other candidate than the ones Joe Biden and the leftists go out here and support. And again, it just shows the codependent relationship that many in your black community have, because again, like many of the other new black media YouTubers, I have to ask again, where are all of those Biden supporters when all of this contempt is being expressed directly towards the black community? Because when I look at this action to defund your historically black colleges and universities under this so-called Build Back Better program, is just showing how your Joe Biden is looking to tear down your black communities and continuing to express contempt for black Americans. Again, your black Americans who came out in force to vote for Joe Biden in 2020, instead of him expressing gratitude towards foundational black Americans, he continues to mistreat black Americans. Meanwhile, he goes out of his way to give non-citizens like Afghans and Mexicans all of the economic tangibles and gives black people nothing but contempt. And again, that is an insult to the black voter who needs to keep their booty at home in 2022 and tell your Joe Biden to go get his votes from those non-citizens in his efforts to try to keep the Congress and the Senate in the midterm elections, and then tell him in 2024 to go get his votes from those non-citizen Afghans, those non-citizen Mexicans, and tell him to go have them help him win an election. That is what any other community would say. Unfortunately, we have so many of these weak, codependent black Americans out here who are NPCs who sit there and go, oh, we got to vote for the lesser of two evils. No, the whole thing is, if these people do not support your agenda, they do not deserve your vote. And if they are not bringing tangibles to you or offering you any sort of tangibles, then you need to stay home and not give them your vote. Because your Joe Biden in the beginning talked about a Lift Every Voice program, which we've never heard anything about. And instead of him trying to offer tangibles to the largest voting bloc that came out to him, he's just continuing to show how much contempt he has for black people and proving the point that everybody made about him possibly being a racist and a white supremacist, because he continues to express nothing but disrespect for the black, foundational black American, and even the black American from overseas, because he could quickly get some planes to send Haitians back, but he's got plenty of planes to bring Afghans in and bring dollars to Afghans, and even work towards giving them welfare and all sorts of government subsidies. He's got money for everybody but a foundational black American who, again, supported him in the largest numbers, but instead of him showing support to the people who supported him in the largest numbers, he goes out here and shows contempt for the black American, foundational black American, and that is why the foundational black American needs to stay their ass home for the next two elections, and let him see, and let the leftists see, that if they don't bring tangibles to the table, they're not gonna get any black votes, and if they don't want to support black agenda, then they don't deserve a black vote. And again, that's the message that black Americans need to send to your joker Joe Biden, who takes black America for granted, does not take black America serious. And again, it's sad that your so-called racist Donald Trump was willing to fund HBCUs, but your so-called tolerant leftist Joe Biden doesn't want to fund HBCUs and does not want to support the black American voting bloc. That's the great tragic irony. We're told, oh, the orange man was bad, but the orange man was supporting black Americans, and he was supporting black economic empowerment more than the so-called tolerant leftist who seems to only tolerate expressing contempt towards black Americans, presenting a paternalistic view towards black Americans, and acting in disrespectful ways towards black Americans. This condescending old man needs to be sent a message, and again, black America needs to send that message by staying their asses home and then telling him to go get his votes from those Afghans and those Mexicans who are not citizens and not registered to vote, and try to see where you're going to get your tangibles from them, because if you can't get tangible votes from them, then you can really realize that the only reason why you're here is because of foundational black Americans. Now, this video is not going to be monetized because YouTube's policies are against any kind of, whenever you criticize a leftist, they lose it. So if you could donate to the Cash App, it would be greatly appreciated. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe. We should have thought twice before we voted for Joe Biden and the Democratic Party. Yo, y'all black people need to start getting on code and getting on message as related to our priorities. We need to talk about no black agenda, no black vote, no tangibles, no black vote. We need to stop voting for idiots like this Joker Joe and let people take us seriously.